Welcome. If you have been dreading family gatherings because everyone else seems to have the thing that you lost that you wanted so much, this episode is for you. I had a client the other day who was telling me about last Christmas, which was her first year after she lost her baby. And she sat at her sister-in-law's house, and everyone passed around her sister-in-law's new baby. They talked about her pregnancy and her delivery and how she wasn't sleeping and all of the things that were so painful to my client. She really just was traumatized by this experience because it made her feel completely, it affected her relationships with those people, and it set her back in her grief. I really would love to talk to you about today so that if this is something that might be coming up for you this holiday season, it would be something that you can take charge of and minimize your exposure, your pain, and handle it in a much kinder way to yourself. A lot of these feelings are really, when you're in a situation like that, a lot of the feelings that come up are very uncomfortable. They're jealousy, resentment, anger, and guilt. They're very uncomfortable because we love people and we love their babies, but how do we do this so that you are able to handle a situation like this? You're able to handle seeing someone else with their baby during the holidays without losing yourself in bitterness or even shame for having a lot of these feelings. Seeing babies isn't just a reminder of what you lost, it's a reminder of what you'll never get to have with this specific child. And I think that's important to remember because you'll see babies. It's just that reminder, oh, yeah, that baby is about the age my baby is, and I'll never get to have that. And that's the really painful part about having these visual reminders. The holidays amplify this because the family gatherings are sometimes large and extensive, and it will most likely force you to experience some triggers that you might normally be avoiding. Sometimes in these situations, they're all right front and center, all in one room. So your brain is just really wired to notice what's missing. And it's just not that extra layer of guilt of feeling like I should be happy for them, but all I feel is my own pain. It really makes you feel this feeling of selfishness and ungratefulness, which is so uncomfortable. Comparison, especially in social gatherings, can really intensify your grief, especially when you are in a season of loss. And I like to think that we get very wrapped up in our own grief, but grief is really universal in this way too. I believe that a woman who just lost her husband at 50 years feels really angry and jealous and resentful of her sister who's standing there with her husband of 40 years. And in that moment, she's really missing what she will no longer get to have. So I think it's a common feeling for grievers, but it doesn't make you a bad person if you do feel that way. This is a human experience while you're carrying an impossible loss. I went to my husband's Christmas party where his coworker was newly pregnant with twins. The thing I wanted so badly. She was joking about how she became pregnant accidentally because it happened on a casual date. I struggled hard with that for years because I would come face to face with this woman in certain situations periodically where throughout the years she would have these twins and the twins and the twins. And I knew they were very close to the age mine would have been. So there was always that extra layer. resentment, anger. In fact, it reminds me of something too. My mother-in-law we have a family friend who just had their daughter just had twins. And my mother-in-law said, "Oh, I just talked to so and so, and she said that twins are doing excellent." And here I sit, I'm telling you, sitting here 26 years later, I am thrilled that these twins are doing excellent. I prayed really hard for them the whole time she was pregnant. I would want nothing else, but it still pissed me off because I don't get to have my twins, but she does. Why does everyone else get their babies and not me? Am I being punished for something? What did I do so wrong? Will I ever stop feeling this way? I had that exact same thought last week, but I also know how to talk myself out of it now. It really is such an uncomfortable feeling, but it's normal. What I know is it's normal and it's a tough one to get through. A lot of moms that I work with avoid going to family events to protect themselves. And it's fine. You get to make that choice. A lot of moms avoid social events, family events, because you might see that pregnant woman at Target and get really angry with her. Or you're really furious about your friend's birth announcement because she didn't tell you first in private, even though she was really struggling with the same thing. There was no right or wrong about it. But all of these are signs that you're grieving. There's nothing wrong with you. These are all normal. So I want you to get to the point where you can validate your feelings without judgment. So just like the example I gave about our family friend, I instantly felt that pissed off feeling, but then I could reel it back and just be like, of course not. Of course, I'm thrilled for them. I wanted them to be healthy. I'm thrilled that they're doing excellent and not judging myself for how I was feeling, even though it surprises me sometimes, even now. Jealousy isn't a character flaw, it's just grief. Instead of pushing it down, just feel it. There's the grief, there's the jealousy. And I know it's normal to feel that way, even if it doesn't feel good. That's what I tell myself. I know it's okay for me to feel this way, even though it feels awful. Creating a plan for when you go to these family gatherings, if there are going to be babies there, you probably know. Maybe you've already made that decision, what you're going to do, how you're going to handle that. Skip it if you need to. You can skip all of the baby showers, the pregnancy announcements, the gender reveals. You get to choose that until it feels like it'll be okay. And it might take a while for you to get to that point where you can talk yourself back down off the ledge. That's something I do all the time with the moms I work with. It's really because we can't change the world around us, but we do talk ourselves off the ledge a lot. Something you could say if you didn't want to attend something is, I love you and I'm happy for your family, but I'm really not in a place that I am able to be around babies yet. So I hope you can understand. If someone doesn't understand that, they're not your people. As usual, I always recommend having a plan no matter what. This is something I teach in the Stillbirth Roadmap course. I have a detailed plan of how you can make this happen so that you can get out of there if you need to. Who's going to get you out of there? What are you going to say? Have it all planned beforehand because that's the way to navigate your triggers is to not get caught by surprise. It doesn't mean it won't happen, but the better prepared you are, the better. Set boundaries around baby talk. You don't have to hold anyone's baby, even if they want you to, and if they think it'd be good for you, you don't. You can get out of conversations about sleep training or first words. Just say, I'm working through some stuff right now and I'm just going to go sit outside for a bit. Remember that their joy doesn't diminish your baby's importance. Someone else who has a baby doesn't make your baby matter less just because they got to live. And your grief is really valid even when it's surrounded by happiness. You can hold space for both their celebration and your sorrow. Both emotions can be present all the time. Just give yourself grace afterwards. Don't beat yourself up about what you said or did or what you meant or wish you'd done. Stop. If you snapped at someone or you cried in front of someone, do not apologize. You are doing the best you can in a situation that no one wants to be in. So just talk about it, let it out, keep going. The jealousy you're feeling is not wrong. It's just a reaction. And you just notice it and you keep going. It's really normal. You can still feel bitter and you're a good person. You can skip events and still love your family and your friends. If you're really struggling to find your footing this season, I would love to invite you to my free workshop. The next one is happening on December 18th. We're going to talk about how to rebuild hope, trust yourself again, and really create a future that honors your baby. The workshop is called Practical Ways to Release Guilt and Navigate Grief After Your Pregnancy Loss. I'm going to teach you all about how to release that guilt so that you can honor the baby the way you want to and start feeling better about your life. You can sign up at navigatingbabyloss.com/workshop. It's completely free, and I would love to see you there because I'm committed to getting you through this holiday season as best I can, even in the midst of your jealousy, anger, resentment, hope, joy, and dreams of your amazing future. I'll see you next week.